can't see time. And I want you to realize you can't see it. There's so many things that are going on that, oh my gosh. But I also brought something else. I brought this ribbon. I'm going to take this ribbon because you can't see time, but I'm going to take it, hold it out between both hands like this, and make it a straight line. So I have a straight line right here, and I'm going to label this end as B, this end as D, so I have the shortest distance between B and D. Any thoughts as to what that might represent, please? Birth, okay. Yesterday's group said shortest distance between breakfast and dinner. Okay, so we got shortest distance between birth and death. Now, we all get one of these, but here we go, tick, 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 tick. And it starts going along like this, tick, tick, tick. Finally, about the time we're 9 to 12 years old, we start to realize, goodness sakes, that's going to happen. I don't want to think about that. So I'm looking at a room in here that don't want to think about that. But here we are right here, and I'll look at the age level in here, and I see some of you, goodness, our time, we're probably right about here. What do you think? Is that okay with you? Yeah, right here. Okay, so now what I did, I also brought something else. I brought some scissors. And I brought these scissors because what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip that because, hey, everybody, that's all used up. And all I want you to know is it seems like, wow, we've got so much time in our mind, but this is it. It shrunk down. Now, anybody in here going to have to ever do any sleeping? How much sleeping are you going to do? What percentage of your time are you going to be asleep, please? About a third. Okay, so gosh, we got to clip that right there because there it is. There's our sleep. Now, we're not getting anything done. All we're doing is recharging the batteries. So now we get this, and there it is. And anybody in here try to have a routine? You get up in the morning, try to make yourself as presentable for the day as you possibly can. You turn on the news, the coffee, whatever else. Then you go down the same streets to the office, go back the same way. Anybody here do that? Okay, so we've got some kind of routine. It'll be different for everybody in here. But anybody in here going to ever do any waiting? Sure, we're going to wait more than human history because of technology. The computer just went down, just froze up, and oh no, now I got to wait for the toner for the coffee machine. And oh, what all the different people that research this stuff tell us, we're going to wait 5.5 years of our life, 6 months at freeway intersections and stoplights. Whoa, man. Well, we'll just forget that because nobody here has to do any waiting because we all multitask, right? We know how to do 2 and 3 things at once. Heck yes. Anybody in here going to ever be in any meetings? You see, Business Week magazine and Wall Street Journal, they'll tell us we're going to be in a meeting 6 years of our life. And when the meeting's over, they'll come up and ask you, is all that time productive? And everybody will say the same thing. No, it's not productive. They'll say, well, put a number on it. What percentage is wasted? And they'll tell them, well, about 50%, actually 48%. Time down the drain, opportunity down the drain, life down the drain. Now, I think you'll agree with me that all of us in the room, out of what's left here, we want to have the 5 years of flossing and flushing. Agree with me there? So we got to get that. And what that's telling me is if you can focus with me here, if you're going to raise little people, time for them will come out of here, correct? If you like to snuggle up next to somebody at night and you want more than the snuggle up, you want to have a full soulmate relationship, time for them would come out of here, correct? Wow. If you're going to be in a place where you can express yourself in your hobbies, you love your hobbies, you could do that here. If you want to be in a career where you give back to the world, where you help people as you express yourselves in your work and you do everything that you can to build the meetings and the audiences that are possible for you to help, time for that would come out of here. Question, anybody in here going to have any quiet time? You see what starts to happen? We start fighting it out in here. And my point to you is simply this. I've got to put up my second sign for it because we've got time is life. But right over here, this sign, can you read that one? Time is limited. And see, the reason I want you to see it is we can't see our limitations. So of all this then, gosh, there I was, a number of years ago, setting up my business, going to have a really good weekend. I got all my stuff getting all set 15 years ago, putting everything together, and I'm going, and all of a sudden my phone rang, and I go, hello? I'm trying to get everything going, and the voice on the other end said, Mr. Barnes, Mr. Chuc Barnes? I said, yes. They said, I'm calling to invite you to be on the Oprah television program. I go, you got to be kidding. Fantastic, great. Like to have it, and I'm starting to swell up. I mean, I'm really puffing up now with importance. I'm going, great. Anybody ever hear of Oprah? Yeah, okay. So I'm saying, oh, yes, what's it all about? And he said, well, it's kind of a problem here. If you can, we know this is late. We know it's late on Friday afternoon. But if you can accept a ticket from us, we'd like you to have you be here on Monday morning so that we can tape the show here in Chicago. I was in San Diego at the time. I go, okay, that's good. Bill, I've got a lot going on. I'm trying to get my business started. The lady other end said, well, do you think that's going to be a problem? And I said, not a problem, just there could be a better time. And she said, okay, thanks very much. Click. So I put the phone down, and I'm still thinking, that was kind of cool. My wife, Jennifer, she comes in and says, hey, sweetheart, who was that on the phone? I say, oh, they called about. Guess what, Jennifer? They called. I'm going to be on Oprah. It's what they wanted me to do. She said, when are you going to be on? Well, it's not like that, honey. Here's what happened. I started telling her, oh, this is my wife. And she said to me, Chuck, I thought you were starting a business. I said, yeah. And she said, and you turned down an opportunity to be on Oprah? I said, well, not quite like that. And then you're an idiot. Chuck, you're a complete idiot. That's my wife. So if I ask you, goodness sakes, and I tell you, I'm there and I have this chance to be on Oprah, but I turn it down because I've got all this stuff to do. What would you say about me? How would you describe me? Okay. Thanks a lot. Jennifer would agree with you. But I knew it myself at the time this happened. So I went back and I go through all the screeners and I start making all the calls to go through the screeners. And finally, I reach the woman. And I say to her, hello, it's Chuc Barnes. I can be there. Please go ahead and send the ticket. And the lady on the other end said, oh, I'm sorry, sir, but that slot on Oprah has already been filled. Oh, man, I knew right then, darn, heck. I just missed out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because I didn't know where I was going and I didn't know my key priorities. So I think, boy, I said to myself at that moment, I never want that to happen to my wife or my friend Marty or anybody that I ever work with in any audience, ever again. So, gosh, I'll put up this sign here. As you can see, we've got time is your life, so you want to value it. You've got time right here is what? What's the next one? Yeah, it's limited. And so we got to for sure schedule it. But this one says, know your priorities. And we can see those. We want to know our priorities. We want to take advantage of those things that will lead us to where we want to go. So, if you or any of the folks in your audiences struggle with any of these, let me know. My name is Chuc Barnes. I'll do everything I can to help them get more done in their day and to get more done in the rest of their life. Okay.